let's take our carbohydrates first. So carbohydrates are the macromolecule that we use for fuel. We need to get our energy from eating other organisms. Remember, we're not capable of doing that. We are not autotrophs, we're heterotrophs. We are consumers. So we have carbohydrates that provide our energy. Now, carbohydrates are going to include our sugars, and when we put our sugars together, we're going to make these great big polymers that we call polysaccharides. The simplest carbohydrates are called monosaccharides. Mono means one. Saccharide means sugar. Get used to breaking these large words down into smaller ones and you can't mess it up. So mono is going to be one, sugar is saccharide, so this means one sugar. And they're also called the simple sugars. Glucose is probably the most common. So when we hook these monosaccharides together, we're going to get what's considered to be a polysaccharide. Now, if we hook two monosaccharides together, we'll get a disaccharide. If we hook three together, we're going to have a trisaccharide. More than three, we're going to get a polysaccharide. And polysaccharides have got many, many, many smaller building blocks of sugar, monosaccharides, and the carbohydrate itself is a polymer, but the polymer is called a polysaccharide because it is made of all of these building blocks of tiny sugars. Now, monosaccharides have got a unified collective molecular formula, which is CHO. And if you notice that CH2O, that is a 1 to 2 to 1 ratio of carbon to hydrogen to oxygen. So glucose, which is our most common monosaccharide, is C6H12O6. Now, when you see that C6H12O6, the carbon is in a 1 to 2 to 1 ratio, and this is always signifying a simple carbohydrate or a monosaccharide. The very smallest is going to be that of a 3 glucose units stuck together. I'm sorry, guys, my dogs are barking. And the 3 together, 3 glucose units put together, is actually called amylose. But when you hook these glucose units together, you're going to get a great big polysaccharide, and that polysaccharide is going to be different depending on which monosaccharides that you hook together. So the monosaccharides are always going to be classified by the location of your carbonyl group, whether it's an aldose, which is an aldehyde, or a ketose, which is a ketone. The ose just means it's sugar. The number of carbons in the carbon skeleton, this is going to determine what kind of carbohydrate you actually have.